If you're buying a home in Northeast Florida, there is a number on your monthly payment that a lot of buyers completely underestimate, and it's not the mortgage. I'm Kim Devlin, and I work with a lot of relocation buyers from all over the country who move to Northeast Florida and get a surprise at closing when they see what their property taxes are actually going to be, not what the current owner is paying, what they're going to be paying. Those are two very different numbers, and I want to explain why. Because there is a quirk in Florida's property tax system that catches people off guard every single time. And right now in 2026, there's also a proposed change on the November ballot that could dramatically reduce what you owe going forward. I'll cover that too. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how property taxes work in Florida, how to estimate your real number before you make an offer, and what's coming that could change the math significantly for buyers in this market. Let's get into it. How Florida property taxes actually work. Let's start from the beginning because Florida's system is a little different from what most people are used to, especially if you're coming from the Northeast. In Florida, property taxes are set at the county level. Each county sets what's called a millage rate. That's basically how much tax you owe per $1,000 of your home's assessed value. The millage rate covers your county, government, your school districts, special taxing districts, and other local services. In St. Johns County, including the St. Augustine area, your property tax bill is based on your home's taxable value multiplied by your local millage rate, plus any non-ad valorem assessments like CDD and solid waste fees. For many buyers, this ends up working out to around 0.9 to 1% of the home's value in total yearly taxes. But the most accurate way to see your number is to plug the property into the St. Johns County tax estimator on the property appraiser's website and enter your purchase price and exemptions. For example, on a $500,000 home in the St. Augustine area, many buyers will land roughly in the mid-4,000s to around $5,000 per year before any homestead exemptions. But the county's online tax estimator will give you a tailored number for that specific address. So if you have a home that you are eyeing, check out the tax estimator link in the description below, plug in the address, and check off your homestead exemptions for a more accurate number. Now here's where it gets a little complicated and where a lot of buyers get tripped up. Most buyers assume that they're going to be paying what the current owner is paying on property taxes. But what the current owner is paying right now might be dramatically less than that, and understanding why is the most important thing I can tell you in this video. The Save Our Homes cap. This is why the seller's tax bill isn't going to be the same as yours. Florida has something called Save Our Homes cap. It's a protection for homeowners that limits how much the assessed value of your home can increase each year to a maximum of 3% or the rate of inflation, whichever is lower. That sounds great, and for people who own their homes for a long time, it is. But here's what it means for you as a buyer. Let me give you a real example. Say the current owner bought their home in Palm Coast 10 years ago for $220,000. Every year since then, the county could only raise their assessed value by 3% maximum. So even though that home is now worth $360,000 on the market, the assessed value for tax purposes might still be sitting around $270,000 or $280,000. They're paying taxes on that lower number. The moment you buy that home, the Save Our Homes cap resets. Your assessed value starts at your purchase price, which would have been $360,000. Now you're paying taxes on $90,000 more than the previous owner was. Now, depending on the millage rate, that difference can add $700 to $1,000 a year to your tax bill compared to what the current owner was paying. That's $60 to $85 a month that won't show up in a standard mortgage payment estimate if your lender is using the old tax bill. This is one of the most common surprises I see buyers face after closing. They budgeted based on what Zillow showed for property taxes, which is usually based on the current owner's bill, and their actual first year payment is higher than expected. The fix? When you're calculating what you can afford, always estimate your taxes based on your purchase price multiplied by the county's effective rate. I'll try to show you here how to do that, but you can always give me a call and I'm happy to walk you through it. Now for the good news. Florida has a homestead exemption, and it's one of the best benefits of owning a primary residence here. Here's how it works. If the home you're buying is going to be your primary residence, meaning you live there, not a rental or a vacation home, you can file for the homestead exemption. Currently, that exemption reduces your taxable value by up to $50,000. The first $25,000 applies to all taxes, including school taxes. The second $25,000 applies to everything except school taxes. It gets a little technical, but the bottom line is at current millage rates in Flagler County and St. Johns County, the homestead exemption typically saves you somewhere between $400 and $700 per year on your tax bill. That's real money, but it's not automatic. You have to apply for it, and the deadline is March 1st of every year. I'll talk about that more at the end of the video because it's something a lot of new Florida homeowners miss. Now, once you have the homestead exemption in place, you also get the Save Our Homes cap protection. I mentioned the 3% annual cap on assessed value increases. So from your second year of ownership forward, your taxable value can only increase slowly, even if the market heats up. That's a significant long-term benefit that builds over time. Now, one important note, the homestead exemption is only for your primary residence in Florida. If you own a second home or investment property, it doesn't apply to those. And if you move even to another Florida home, you have to refile. But in this case, you may be able to save even more money through portability benefits. Portability in Florida lets you take your property tax savings with you when you move from one Florida homestead to another Florida homestead. When you've had a homestead exemption for a while, your assessed value is often much lower than your market value because of the Save Our Homes cap. Portability allows you to transfer that gap, your tax savings, to your next Florida homestead up to $500,000. To use it, you must establish a new homestead and apply for portability within 3 tax years of giving up the old homestead. Now, this can be confusing, so I like to recommend a local company to my clients that do all of this for you before you sell one homestead and close on your new homestead. If you'd like to learn more about that company and how they can help you, just shoot me an email, kim@kimdevlinteam.com. So let's compare the 2 counties that I work in because this comes up constantly when buyers are choosing between Palm Coast and St. Augustine. Flagler County, where Palm Coast is located, has a slightly higher millage rate than St. Johns County, but because home prices in Palm Coast are significantly lower, your actual dollar amount in taxes is usually less. Here's a rough comparison to give you a feel for it with different price points. A $300,000 home in Palm Coast with a homestead exemption often ends up somewhere around $2,200 to $2,600 per year in property taxes. A comparable home in St. Augustine would likely be priced at around $450,000, and with homestead in place, will typically land in the low to mid 3,000s per year, depending on the exact neighborhood and any additional assessments. Now, that's not a massive gap, and St. Johns County offers things that Flagler doesn't, especially high-ranking school districts that many buyers feel more than justify the difference. But if you're budgeting tightly, it's a real number to factor in. And remember, the gap compounds over time. If you're in Palm Coast for 20 years and your assessed value is growing slowly under the Save Our Homes cap, your tax bill stays lower. The longer you own, the more that cap works in your favor. The other thing worth knowing is that there are additional exemptions beyond the standard homestead for seniors, veterans with disabilities. If any of those apply to you, it's worth a call to the county property appraiser's office to ask what you qualify for because those savings can be significant. Now, this is the part of the video that I think is most relevant right now in 2026 specifically. There is a proposed constitutional amendment heading to the Florida ballot in November that would dramatically increase the homestead exemption. Under the current proposal, the exemption would increase from $50,000 to $150,000 in 2027 and then to $250,000 in 2028. After that, it would be indexed to inflation, so it grows over time. If this passes and constitutional amendments in Florida require 60% approval, the impact would be significant for homeowners here. Let me show you what that means in real numbers. Right now, on a $360,000 Palm Coast home, your taxable value after the current $50,000 exemption is $310,000. At a 1% effective rate, you're paying about $3,100 per year. If the exemption increases to $250,000, your taxable value drops to $110,000. At the same rate, you're paying around $1,100 per year. That is a difference of $2,000 a year, or roughly $167 a month. Now, I want to be honest with you. This is a proposed amendment. It has to pass in November, and there are ongoing debates about how it would affect school funding and local government services. Nothing is guaranteed until voters weigh in. But here's why this matters for buyers right now. If you're on the fence about buying in 2026 versus waiting, the possibility of this tax relief is a real upside to getting into the market this year. You'd establish your homestead, start the Save Our Homes cap clock, and if the amendment passes, you'd benefit automatically without having to do anything else. Keep an eye on this. I'll be posting updates on my channel as we get closer to November. Okay, so here's the practical part. Before you make an offer on a home, here's exactly how to estimate what your property taxes will likely look like. Step 1, take the purchase price you're considering. Let's say it's $340,000. Step 2, subtract the homestead exemption. Right now that's $50,000. So your estimated taxable value is $290,000. Step 3, find the millage rate for the county you're buying in. You can get this from the county property appraiser's website. For Flagler County, that's flaglertax.com. For St. Johns County, it's sjcpa.us. The total millage rate will be listed. It's usually expressed as dollars per thousand of taxable value. Step 4, multiply your taxable value by the millage rate. For example, if the rate is 10.5 mils, you divide by 1,000 and multiply 290 times 0.0105, which equals $3,045 per year, or about $254 per month added to your payment. That's it. It takes about 2 minutes and gives you a far more accurate number than whatever Zillow is showing based on the current owner's bill. Now, I always walk my buyers through this calculation before they make an offer. It removes the surprise. If you want me to do this with you for a specific property you're looking at, just reach out. It's one of the things I do for all my clients. Now, it's very important not to miss a deadline for your homestead exemption. The homestead exemption does not apply automatically when you close on your home. You have to file for it, and the deadline is March 1st of the year following your purchase. So if you close on a home in October 2026, you need to file for the homestead exemption by March 1st, 2027 to get the benefit on your 2027 tax bill. If you miss that deadline, you wait another full year. At current rates, that's $400 to $700 you don't get back. Filing is free and fairly simple. You can do it online or in person at your county property appraiser's office. You'll need proof that the home is your primary residence, your driver's license with the new address, a utility bill in your name, something like that. So set a calendar reminder the day you close. Seriously, I remind every single one of my buyers about this because it's easy to forget in the chaos of moving, and missing it is an expensive mistake for no reason. Florida's property tax system has more moving parts than most states, but once you understand how it works, it's actually one of the best deals in the country. No state income tax, a homestead exemption that grows in value the longer you own, a cap that protects you from runaway assessments, and potentially significant additional relief coming in November. Now, if you are planning to buy in Palm Coast or St. Augustine, St. Johns County this year, you're in a good position. This market is buyer friendly right now, insurance aside, and the tax picture is as favorable as it's been in a while. If you have questions about what your specific tax bill would look like on a home that you're considering, or if you just want to talk through whether the market makes sense for your situation, I'm happy to hop on a call. Just drop a comment below with your county, Flagler, or St. John's, and I'll share the current millage rate so you can run the math yourself, or send me an email and I'll send you the simple one-page worksheet I use with my clients to estimate this before every offer. For a comparison of St. Augustine versus Palm Coast living, watch this next video right here. I hope you found this information helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one.